yards and you'll be waist deep the whole time. But if you go to like California, Hawaii, there's steep drop-offs,
Yes.
and that's where you have this undertow. That's what pulls you out and gets you into the rip currents. It pulls you, it sweeps you off from shore. It's abrupt. The waves crash, pull you back, and then you're in the rip current, and then you go out. That's what undertow is. It's usually commonly mistaked or interchanged with rip current.
Gotcha.
So we'll talk about real quick. I said it a little bit, but does anyone know how you can tell where a rip current's at? Alright, I'll just tell you. So rip currents are going to be in this shape, right? So anytime if Stella, Destin, or I are sitting on our towers at the beach and we're watching the water, anytime we see something in this shape, we know it's a rip current. So that can be a couple things. One, like Leonard said, your sand. If there's clouds of sand, now waves pick up clouds of sand everywhere. So it's not just because I see a cloud of sand in the water that automatically rip there. But if there's a cloud of sand that's bottlenecking into this type of shape, going straight away from shore and pulling water out, that's how I can tell there's a rip current there. Same thing happens when the waves crash and there's foam. If it's pulling foam out into a column like this, then that can be a rip current. But it's a common mistake that sometimes people will look at the beach and think that there's rip currents everywhere just because they see foam everywhere. So it's not the presence of foam that tells you that there's rip current there. It's the foam in that shape going away from shore that tells you there's rip current there. Something that's also really close to us that is a rip current, I said earlier that the water takes the path of least resistance, is our piers and our jetties all have rip currents that run right along them because the pylons of the piers create a trough on their own, and the water isn't going to make its own trough. There's already a trough there. So that is one of the reasons that per county ordinance we don't let anybody swim within 100 yards of our piers and jetties. That, you don't want to get hung up in fishing line and stuff like that. So if you ever come to the beach right here, where we're at now, you'll hear us whistling a lot, making a lot of announcements and stuff, and trying to clear people from that restricted area. And that's because we don't want anybody to get sucked underneath the pier or get in that rip that's right along the pier. It's probably one of the fastest moving rips that you can find on our beaches because it's just so permanent and it's always running. All right.
What
Yes.
happens if you see a rip current like there? Would you like move the people away from that rip current or just leave it there?
You want to say?
So me personally, I would just let them be if they go too deep. So for me, if they're standing in a rip current and they're deeper than waist deep, like if they're up to their necks in that rip current, that's easily for them to get swept out. So I'll usually pull people out, like I'll whistle them in or move to the side or something like that. Usually